Welcome to my channel. My name is John, and today this will be another meeting of the Retiring Club. In this meeting of the Retiring Club, I'm going to be covering my first 6 months of retirement at the age of 64, and we're going to be talking about the budgeted amount for the first 6 months. We're going to talk about the draw, how I actually pull money out of the individual retirement account and pay myself as if I was still working. And we're going to look at the budgeted items that we're going to be paying going into July. This video will help you understand how, as a new retired person or someone who's 59 and a half, just laid off or taking advantage of the rule of 55 or the 72T, can manage yourself, because I got a lot of little moving pieces that help me keep from having to draw down so much money. So I'm going to jump into the screen share presentation, and we're going to try and get this through pretty quick. And it is the Thursday before the 4th of July, and I can't believe that it's 250 years for our country, and I'm actually 64 years old. Boy, oh boy, that makes me feel good. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, folks, so here we go. 6 months of retirement. When I went into 2026, the budget was set for 1,600 monthly, and that was basically set based on my expenses for 2025, as well as the other years that I had the full 12 months of expenses. So it came out to $1,600 a month, and that made it for 6 months of $9,600. I took two IRA distributions, but we're going to focus on the first one. Each IRA distribution of $10,000 is designed to cover my household expenses for 10 months. And this is the way it's going to break down going into July through the remainder of the year. So we're going to go right into that right now. So the mortgage is going to come in at $611.45. That is including the extra $100 towards the principal to help pay it down and shrink it down, going into right around 2034 or sooner. So we're okay there. And we've got the HOA fee of $355.95. And this has a noted the day that it is due by. After that, you're late. We've got the Netflix. I like Netflix. It has a lot of stuff on there that comes on that I like. The Ancient Aliens, all that UFO discoveries, Egyptian related stuff, and some movies. So it is $979. Now, what I did was, from the sweep account, I had turned off the capital gains in my biggest IRAs, the ones that are $100,000 plus. It generated $14,838 in cash that went into the sweep account. It is not really gaining any real interest at all. It was just sitting there at the end of 2025. And when we moved into January of 2026, I took distributions from each one, Fidelity as well as E-Trade. Each month, the draw has been, or should be, right at 979. This covers the household expenses. This is set up to draw from a high yield savings account where this money is going to earn interest until it's drawn on every month. So this is set up, and I recently switched it around so that it will draw from the high yield savings that I originally have built up so much cash in to cover early termination, any kind of special incidents I may have where I no longer can work and didn't have any income, or the payoff. So in my case, I set up a special account like Dave Ramsey says, but when I didn't use it, it became a mortgage payoff. when I decide not to pay off the mortgage, now it is cash reserve, and it represents the Federal Reserve of John, my private bank. So the draw each month is 979 from that account. When we start talking about the expenses, we're looking at expenses that come up on the 15th of the month. You got your utility gas, it is due by the 14th, and it is $48.63. It's going to be like that for the next few months. It won't get any higher until we roll into December or possibly January. Now, I double checked this year's versus 2024, and I found out something interesting. I was at work in 2025, and that cost of the gas was much lower. It's more like $62 for the first 3 months. But I was at home this year and it was about $82. So by me being home more, I actually heated my living space, whereas while I was working, I was gone. So that's an increase that we may have to look at as new retirees. Utility electric due on the 30th, that's $60. Um, that is on the budget plan. I always pay that. That way, when it gets incredibly hot down here in Georgia, which I've been okay so far, um, I can run it and it just pays off and evens out all year. Utility cable, and this is also internet, that's with Xfinity, that's $70. The cell phone with Xfinity is doing a 37.40. The British Petroleum, I have a gas card. It's actually a Visa, and I accumulate some points whenever I go ahead and use that card. And I found out with the points that I actually qualify for a $25 gift card as of now. I do believe that's 67.72. I really didn't buy any gas. It was beverages and snacks, but you can see how I could use that for my fuel costs. And 5968, this is UMA Health. This is accident critical illness. When I go into 2027, I will no longer pay this. I'll be going on a Medicare, and this dollar amount is going to go towards the Vision, which is probably going to be VSP, as well as the dental MetLife Take Along for seniors is what I'm going to go with. I'm paying a haircut. It's coming in at $12. I go to the barber school and it includes my mustache trim. My healthcare health club is 26.96, and then I have a savings of $5 that's transferred in to keep it um, free. Groceries, I was able, by me having such low income as a new retiree, I use the free pantry service here in my community. Now, the grocery stores have a lot of food that is pretty much ripe, it's aged, and they give it all to the pantries. So you can just go ahead and try and register. I recommend you do that just in case, even if you say, you know what, John, I'm not like that. I'm not going to do what you do. You never know. You may have an emergency where you just don't have the cash available and you're already registered. Um, there are some items that I will buy, but that now comes out of discretionary income. Okay, so the second draw of the month would be around 387.39. Now it's green. The normal total draw is 1366. Now we are budgeted for 1600. So as you can see, I already have a surplus. Here in Atlanta, there's a lot of events going on. And I knew that in June I was going to be busy working the FIFA World Cup. So what I did was I used my side hustle income. I kind of took it easy because I worked 5 events in the month of June, and I worked one last night. And England came on and beat the Congo DR, and they were all happy about that. But this 387.39, this represents the middle of the month, and this is what I would need to cover that. I covered that with my um, side hustle income. So I'm not making this draw too. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm already set up not to make the second draw to pay my bills for the month of July because I got paid for the FIFA World Cup and it is $10 shy of this. So what I'm in fact doing is I'm reducing the amount of money that I need to make myself whole here in retirement going into the next 6 months. And what that's going to do is that's going to require a nice surplus for me at the end of the year. And I'll be able to do some things with that. And we'll talk about that at the end of the year. But the biggest thing that I want to tell you that you're probably not going to hear from any financial advisor or planner is how this slides in under the standard deduction. This is where I am right now, July 2nd, with my income for the first 6 months. I got 1,000 in taxable interest. I got $1,002 over here at the stadium job. That's all I made so far this year. And I got a $10,000 on the IRA distribution. That's $12,002. The standard deduction is 6,100. If I file taxes today, my AGI would be $12,002. So I'm pulling out IRA distributions and I'm paying hardly anything on taxes. So and when I was working, the first 2.5 days of each work week, all that money went towards the taxes. I'm no longer in the 22% tax bracket, so I don't pay that. I don't have the W-2 income I have from the stadium, but it's based, the FICA is based on that $1,002. So I don't have the 6.2 off of a big time salary. I don't have state income tax for the state of Georgia. I'm 60 over 62. They waived the first $35,000 of income, and at age of 65, you don't pay any state taxes on your first $65,000. So I'm good there. And the benefits that I was paying out of my check, whatever percent, let's just throw 3%. That's nearly 35% of taxes I no longer pay. Now I slide into this area where my AGI is sliding under the standard deduction. And with me going into the next 6 months, if I can eliminate this draw in the middle of the month with the side hustle and the stadium income, and with me keeping that budget from $1,600 down to a draw where I only need 1369, we minus that, we're going to see that all I'm going to pull out is this right here, about 900 and let's just say $1,000, and that goes towards basically the mortgage. So for $12,000, that's what I will actually be living on coming from the IRA withdrawal. But because I'm pulling 20, there's going to be a surplus, and I can do a lot with that. This is something that I'm demonstrating here that I like you to try. A lot of people, unless you're dealing with a CPA that's familiar with working with low income people, you're not going to know this stuff. So I encourage you to try it. This is my presentation. So I'm going to just give up my summer and work. I'll be able to do some things, but it's going to pay off as I go into next year because I'm going on Medicare next year, and I will be making quarterly Part B payments, and I'll be making monthly gap payments on my supplement plan, as well as I will be paying Part D, and I'm responsible for my vision and the dental. And I would like to have a chunk of money that's available. And this is it on my presentation. This is how it's shaping up for me in my retirement. And if you can get down to this analysis, analysis like this, you as a retiring early, you will have financial independence. So my name is John, and I'm going to end the presentation. I want to thank you for coming to the Retiring Club. Please like and subscribe. Take care.